Okay, so we're back with another lesson. This one is a good one. Everyone can be rich. This lesson is called Getting Rich Slow. So, everyone can be rich. Unfortunately, it's slow. It's not an official quote, but it's a good line. Everyone can be rich. Unfortunately, it's slow. So, I want to quickly chat about a few main points in this lesson. Let's start off with the official quote that I have for it. Wealth gained hastily dwindles, but whoever gathers little by little will increase it. And I'm going to give a book recommendation right off the start. I'm not going to talk about it, just get it, read it. It's really fun. Um, the Richest Man in Babylon. Richest Man in Babylon. George S. Clayson. Um, just get it, read it. It's very fun. So I spent the last, decade or so, I think I probably read over 100 personal finance books, and they all talk about the same shit. Okay. And instead of you reading thousands and thousands of pages on the same shit, I'm just going to cover it in these few points here. Okay. In the next 10 to 20 minutes. Okay. So this is the get rich slow system. It works. And let me just get that off the screen for a second. It works. That American dream that people talk about, and obviously people in Europe, you're like, what the fuck is the American dream? I don't know, whatever the European dream is, whatever the Asia dream is, there's a fucking dream. Okay. But in North America, at least, the American dream is like have money put aside, invest it, own a home, own a nice car, and be a good citizen, and yeah, just live a good life and have money when you retire. Like have an abundance of money when you retire, right? It's kind of the American dream, right? Like obviously like bigger, more money, bigger house, better car, right? But at the end of the day, it's like you want money in the bank when you retire, and you want to own your home, and you want to have a nice car or whatever, and you want to take some nice trips, right? Support your family and so on. You just want to be able to do that, right? And as long as you're able to do that, you're going to live a pretty decent life because you'll have money in the bank invested. You don't have to worry in retirement. Your income's good now. You have good money management. You have a nice house. You have a nice car. Kids are taken care of. Wife's taken care of. Husband's taken care of, right? Like it's all good, right? You have money to travel, right? So that's a system. That's a system. And I'm going to show it to you here, the system that you're going to learn in all those other books. But all those other books are pretty much just other version of this book, and this is the funnest one of them all. Okay, it's really neat. And if you have debt and all that stuff, like this one takes care of it too. It's just nice, fun stories that will always be relevant. But let's get to our points here, and let's get right to our lesson. So, um, everyone can be rich. And as long as you follow this system, you will be rich. This is not about trading. This is nothing about trading. I just feel like I have a responsibility to share this with everybody. Okay. Because nobody does this. Some people do it and they have a decent life, but a lot of people don't do it where they could do it and have a very good life. You know, um, this is how you achieve kind of like the basic American dream. Okay. So everybody needs to have a personal money system. Let's start there. Personal money system, there's two main parts to it, right? There's the income, there's the money that comes in, there's the income, and then there's how you distribute that money 20, 30, 50. Okay, 20%, 30%, 50%, right? Take notes under these. So let's talk about the personal money system. And this is not about trading again. Personal money system. Trading is the next lesson. Getting rich faster. You see that right at the bottom? But personal money system, income. Now, income is working for somebody else. Now, there will be people who hate their job, and there will be people who are like, I like my job. I like this. Some people will be working at a fucking hedge fund. Like you might be working at a hedge fund analyst or something. Who knows? And you're like, I like this shit. I like the culture. I like the vibe. Salary's pretty decent, right? People are good. Boss is fun. You like it. If you like it, great. Do this and we'll show you how to boost it up a little bit with trading later. Right? But everybody should kind of set this up. Doesn't matter whether you like your job or if you don't like your job, especially if you don't fucking like your job. You should still set this shit up, because your time is worth something, right? But if it's worth shit all if you don't have any money left, okay? Because most people live paycheck to paycheck. Most people have income come in and it goes out. Doesn't matter if it's personal or business. Most people have money come in, and then it goes out. They spend it on shit. So let's talk from a personal perspective. Most people have money come in and then they spend it on shit. And they're gonna say, I got bills, I got stuff to do. Yeah, man, you're willing to give it all away to everybody else. You know? You're paying this person, you're paying this person, you're paying this service and this service and this service and this service, and you're buying this thing, you're buying that thing, and you're buying this thing. You're making everybody else fucking wealthy except yourself. So the first main principle is like you have money coming in, you have an income. It's pay yourself first. Pay yourself first. And that's the 20%, right? It's the 20, 30, 50. Right? So let's explain that. We'll talk about it in a little bit more detail. But pay yourself first is a concept, right? It's a concept that you should implement ASAP. Okay. Now, you may not fall within this percentage allocation. This percentage allocation is 20% for saving and investing, 30% for fun coupons, spend it however the fuck you want, and 50% for the fixed costs, the expenses, the house, the food, the car, right? The fixed costs, the necessities, the needs, right? So 20% pay yourself, that's your saving and investing. 30% is fun coupons, spend it however the fuck you want, right? And 50% for needs, house, car, food, transportation, whatever, right? Now, if you set this up, and I'm not saying like have it all in one bank account, like actually have 3 bank accounts, maybe 4, maybe 5. You can split this up even more, but you need to be thinking like this, and you need to set up bank accounts because budgeting software is bullshit. It will not do the trick. And this is good wisdom. Understand that you can spend hours and hours and hours researching this shit, and they will tell you exactly this. So budgeting softwares are crap. They are not the most optimal system, right? Why? Because pay yourself is last. It's not pay yourself first, it's pay yourself last. It's whatever's left over, I can keep. And there's typically nothing left over. Whether you're running a business or you're working for somebody in a 9 to 5 or whatever, right? If you spend it all first without paying yourself first, if it first goes to bills and expenses and all this shit, you're not gonna have anything left over. Pay yourself last, and there will be fucking shit all at the end of the day and at the end of the month, So that 20% is pay yourself first. Is fucking pay yourself 20%. Now, you may not be at these percentage allocations, 20, 30, 50. So you deal with what you got. Maybe pay yourself 5%, 10%, 15%, maybe you're spending way too much on your living costs. Maybe those living costs are not 50%, but they're fucking 70. You gotta chop some shit, or you gotta increase your income. You're playing with your money system. You're playing with these 2 variables: is increase your income, right? And how you allocate your capital and to what causes. 20% for your future, saving and investing, 30% for fucking fun coupons, spending how you like it, fancy dinners, drinks out, nice clothes, whatever you like. Supercar, whatever, you want to spend your 30% on, and 50% as the needs. If you follow this basic system and always kind of aim to increase your income and contribute to these buckets regularly, every month, multiple times a month, you're going to live a good life, and you're going to retire with money, and you're going to achieve the financial dream, or like the American dream, right? You can do that, and you will do it, if you follow that income and the 20, 30, 50% split. Now, it's a get rich slow. I'm gonna show you how to speed it up a little bit, right? But this is so important. Like, don't not do this. Try to get yourself into these buckets. So, like I said, if you need to chop expenses, chop expenses. If you gotta pay bills first, fuck the 30% fun coupons and pay your bills first. You know what I mean? Like, and then pay yourself 10% instead of 20. Like, make it happen. Make it happen, and then increase your income and cut your expenses so that you can fit into these buckets. Okay. Now that 20% that you're saving and investing, see, like the basic system will split this 20% more, 10 and 10, 10 in saving and 10 in investing. You can think about doing that if you want, you know, or just put it all together. It's up to you, but just don't hesitate. But the basic system only invests 10% and then saves 10%, right? For a total of 20. And that 50%, we can split this 50% up even more, right? Where the 50% gets split up into 30% should not be more than your housing should not be more than 30% of that 50 of like should not be more than 30%, right? So then you have 20% left for like car and food and stuff, right? So those are like the basic numbers. And obviously the fun coupons will be going to, like, if you have bills and you have debt and shit, you gotta pay that off. So that's your fun coupons. Like you got no fun coupons. Get your money system in order, right? First, if this is pumping, if this is actually functioning, and every single month you're paying yourself 20%, and then you're living like a king, spending 30% with no worries, you just blow it every single month. That's the purpose. It's fun coupons. You blow it every month, 30%, because you already paid yourself. That's the thing. You paid yourself. You already paid yourself 20. So you blow the 30. It's fun coupon. Spend it. Have fun. Enjoy. And then 50% is your needs. If you live within this, you're gonna live a good life. This is like guaranteed. You'll live a good life, but you got to get yourself into this system, as close to the system as possible. Now, part two here is basic investing system, right? So how do you invest that 20%? Well, the basic way, the standard way, the way that kind of achieves the 10% annual return, give or take, right, is 80% equities, 20% bonds. And if you're younger, it might be 100% equities and 0 bonds. And if you're older in retirement, it might be 80% bonds and 20% equities. Bonds are safer than equities. Now, but we're talking small numbers here. We're talking like 10%, and our return going from like aggressive 15 and low like 5. But this is the basic system. Again, if you implement this within a 9 to 5, the whole system, income, maximizing your income, putting it into the proper buckets, and then your investing goes into 80% equities and 20% bonds. And equities, I'm talking like, let's jump on the charts here. This is let me jump on the charts. When we're talking about the equities, we're talking about here's a daily chart. We're talking about VTI, which is Vanguard Total Stock Market, as an example. But it's the total stock market, right? So Vanguards are typically the best, and this is what I'm talking about. It's like, since this ETF has been in existence, it's been obviously downwards, but this is a long-term system. This is like the 9 to 5 system. This is like, do your money well for 10, 20, 30 years, forever. This is like one system that you can follow for the rest of your life, right? And this shit goes up, and it goes way up if you have time, which everybody has time. You have to start this ASAP, So we got VTI, we got SPY, S&P 500 as an example, and we got many other kind of like total stock market ETFs, but like VTI, SPY would be like the major ones. And we can talk much more about it in live sessions if you want me to break this system a little bit more down. But yeah, so that's kind of what you're thinking about basic investing. Like, you just set up a basic account and you buy one ETF and then maybe bonds. A lot of times it will just be 100% equities, which would just be like one ETF, VTI, total stock market. And it's a simple system because, like, you got money coming in from your 9 to 5. split it into those buckets, 20, 30, 50. You invest the 20 into total stock market, one ETF every single month. And this is just automated. This is like literally automated. You set this shit up. There's like about 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes of maintenance every single month, you know? But it's key to, again, set this up properly. And again, not to budget it within a software, actually like set up accounts so that when money comes in, right away 20% goes into this account, 30% goes into this account, and 50% goes into this account. You know what I mean? It's just much better way of managing funds, managing money or personal money. This lesson is so key. You know, I wish I knew this shit when I was like starting work, you know, long time ago. So the goal then is to over time increase your income, like keep on increasing your income. There's a hack to this in a 9 to 5. There's another thing I learned as a full-time trader, but like I study a lot of finance, you know, probably have masters in finance, but except I never went to a traditional university, you know, but I probably studied way more than they ever had. Um, so increase your income is a key, right? And there's a way to increase your income in a 9 to 5. Obviously, if you got one job, people are a lot of times loyal to a company within a 9 to 5 system, right? But that company will not increase your income fast enough. Small little percentages every single year, maybe a bonus, right? Unless you're at like a hedge fund, investing institution, law firm, you know, then you can be making some serious bank, right? And I know like analysts at a hedge fund off the bat are making like 200K annual with a lot of fucking expenses and many things paid off. You know, it's a great fucking life, but 80-hour weeks, you know. But like, yeah, so the goal is to increase your income. Now, the fast way to increase your income is like if you're at the end of the year, if you get a 9 to 5 job and you get a specific skill, software developer, whatever it is, and you get a 9 to 5 job, you know, and at the end of the year, you're not happy with your pay increase, get another job. You'll have a bigger pay increase. It's just a lot of people are loyal to the fucking company for some fucking reason. Like, fuck that. You know, be loyal to yourself. Pay yourself more. Be worth more. This is what I'm talking about increasing your worth. You can be worth much more, but like your boss doesn't see that and is not willing to do it, you know, because he's like, he's doing this role for this amount. Why should I pay him more? Just because he's a good guy? You know? So like remember, like you gotta treat yourself first. So if at the end of the year you're not happy with the raise that you got or whatever, it's not if it's not 15 fucking percent, like literally, if it's not 15% annual increase in wage, get another job because you will get it. You will get it. If you look out there and you will, you know, find another job and you're actually a legit fucking person who knows what the fuck they're doing, you'll get a better pay. You know, it's just, and you might have to do this every fucking year or every few years. But that's how you increase your income in a 9 to 5. You know, it's not always going to be within the same company. A lot of times it's much faster to get an income raise every year by switching your job. You know, and then they're gonna ask, why are you switching your job every year? Well, they're not paying me enough. I'm too good. I'm a fucking goat. I like your pay structure better. You know, it's it's um it's key. You want to increase your income, and then you want to compound for as much as possible. You just want to be funneling that 20% in every single month over and over and over and never fucking stopping. And if the market's in a dip, this is another key. If the market's in a dip, in a recession, here's a quote by Warren Buffett. And write this shit down. Be greedy when others are fearful, and fearful when others are greedy. When the market's in a recession, you even crank on this shit down even more. Instead of investing 20, you invest fucking 50. No fun coupons for you. You know, go deep in that shit. Everybody's fucking fearful, screaming, and you're like, I'm gonna scoop it up because it's a fucking discount and I want to be financially free. That's how you play the basic system. It's just nobody does this. It's so simple. It's so simple. The first 3 points, you know, and the number 4, basic customizations. So there's a way to customize this in a very simple way. Very simple way, you know. So I'm gonna give you like the kind of like the fun way. All right, the fun way. So you see your income, Obviously, we know we're going to maximize this shit in a 9 to 5. This is still not trading. Again, I'm going to give you a simple system here, right? A guaranteed way to get rich. So you want to maximize your income. Now, basic customizations is this an example? Instead of contributing only 20%, contribute 40 and save 10 or 10% fund coupons, right? So we would have 40% investing and saving, 10% fund coupons, right? And 50% needs, right? It's a basic customization. It will get you there so much faster. You do this in a 9 to 5, with increasing your income every year, ideally, you will retire in 10 years. Literally. You don't have to do the whole 25, 30 years and have no money thing. You can put in 10 good years and be retired, be financially free, running the basic system, in a 9 to 5. It's fucking simple. And next major customization would be, and again, it doesn't have to be exactly 40, like play with these numbers. Some people might be able to play with these numbers aggressively. Like some people might be living off of 30, 10% fund coupons, and putting 60 aside, right? Like some people will do this. People do this. But you got to look at it as a simple system like that. It doesn't have to be any more complex. It really doesn't. So another basic customization would be this percentage allocation here for your investing portfolio, for the money that you put aside for investing, right? Pay yourself first, right? Now, basic customizations to this would be obviously like 80% equities. You can just go 80% equities, and a lot of people my age and younger generation, they'll be like, fuck bonds. I don't give a fuck about bonds. They're going to be 20% crypto. And that's a fun customization. I bet you I don't give a fuck about bonds. I'm just, like I said, I gotta give you the proper way, traditional way. But you want some customizations, obviously. Now this is a sexy one. I understand that it obviously adds some volatility, but obviously long term it adds positive volatility to your portfolio. It's massive gains. Crypto currently, BTC compounds currently at about 145% every single year versus 10% in equities. 145 versus 10, If you invested in tech, it's like 18, 20% versus 145 annual on Bitcoin, And another basic customization for some, and this is like legit true for many, and it's not that bad. It's actually like proper, which will be 100% crypto. And I'm talking just like safe, like Bitcoin, There's a safe way to do this too. But now you're like really like you're gonna have money. You're gonna have money, with increasing your income, playing with your percentage allocations, and then your portfolio, how you structure your portfolio and what you invest in, how volatile the asset, right? But if you do 100% in BTC as an example, like BTC will go up to 1 million, it will go up to 10 million. It's just give it time and it will, And obviously you gotta study it. This is again where I gotta fucking say, do your own research, which it's true. You should understand what the fuck you're doing, And we can talk about it for hours in our live sessions as well, But that's kind of like my vibe. That's more my vibe. All my cash is pretty much in crypto, BTC. My split, I'm eventually, when you're doing this full time, you're probably going to trade under like a fund, a personal fund, or under a business, so that you lower your income tax and so on. You can, expense different things and so on. So eventually, like your income, once you're doing this full time, your income will be like trading under a business, and you're going to be paying yourself, right? But like my portfolio split currently is typically 80% crypto and 20% trading. And that's really kind of spicing it up. That's really spicing it up. A lot of people will not recommend that. Normal financial advisors will obviously not recommend that. And it's not like I'm recommending it. I'm just saying like That's my customization. All right. Hmm. So that's it for this lesson. You gotta set up the basic money system. First, set this up, and then obviously think about basic customizations and think about increasing your income. How can you increase your income? Find another fucking job. Like, you gotta do it. It's major key. Pay yourself first. Major fucking key. All right. Everyone can be rich, and this is how you do it. It takes some time, but everything takes time. And if you don't set this up, you're gonna be those old people who have no money and are depending on government checks. You don't want to be those people. All right. Trust me, you don't want that. You want to have a fat bank account when you're old. You want to have a fat bank account now. So that's why I'm going to take you to the next lesson. Getting rich faster. I'll see you in that one. See you soon.